A girl named Melinda pulls up to a gas station. She gets out of her car for a smoke, then approaches a man who is filling up his car. He's smoking a cigarette and Melinda warns him about the dangers of smoking near the fuel pumps. The man doesn't really care about this despite the large no smoking sign in the background. She assures the man that there is no problem with smoking itself rather than the place he decided to have one. The man yells at Melinda that he is not an idiot and is very cautious with his cigarette. Melinda takes it too personally and she then leaves the man and enters the gas station. Sheila the cashier tells her that she needs to restock and clean the toilet as well because Diane forgot to do it. She agrees to do it and quickly changes to her work clothes. While restocking, she approaches a customer who is browsing through the snacks. She tells him that the pistachios are really good cool and she offers a merry fund if he doesn't like it. She tells him her name, but the man seems rather uninterested in her. He takes the pistachios to get away from the weird girl. While she's not looking, he dumps out the package and quickly leaves. Later, Melinda cleans the toilet with uncharacteristic dedication. She is looking at candid photos of a cop in the gas station. It looks like she only has pictures of the cuff on her phone. A man walks in and is scared by Melinda. Melinda starts staring at him. It is clear that she has absolutely no sense of empathy. The man tells her that he can't use it while she's in there. Sheila is watching TikTok videos where sophisticated ladies perform twerk. She bites Melinda into doing it in absolutely cringed work, but she secretly records it. Having noticed it, Melinda reacts as if Sheila had humiliated her. All the while, a suspicious man pulls up to the gas station and waits for a perfect moment. An elderly man walks in and he asks for Sheila at the cash register. He says that his name is Fred and they talked 2 days ago. Sheila was complaining about her feet hurting during a small talk, so Fred got her some petted. Melinda accepts the gift for her, but Sheila doesn't want it. She is saying she doesn't want anything. Fred walks off disappointed, but Melinda stops him on his way to his car. She says that the insults fit her perfectly and try to cheer the man up. The suspicious man that pulled in earlier gets out of his car and hides his revolver in the back of his pants. His name is Billy. Melinda introduces herself to him and he asks if there is anyone else working in the store. He asked for cigarettes and the police car shows up. The cop gets out of the car. They seem to know each other. Bill is tensely watching the cop from inside. He catches the eye of Sheila, who walks up to him and asks if he needs any help. He says that he is looking through condoms. She remarks that he has been doing it for 5 minutes, so she helps him to choose the condoms. Outside, Melinda asks Officer Lou to take her on a ride with his new cop car. He turns down her request because of his strict rules, but then promises to take her on the ride later and goes in to get a coffee. Billy goes to the bathroom while Officer Lou is at the cash register. Sheila then notices Melinda, who is taking pictures of the officer again, and yells at her. Sheila demands Melinda to show what she's been filming. The officer sees that Melinda is about to burst into tears and he discharges the tense atmosphere by showing his smartphone. He gets a call and leaves immediately. Sheila then shames Melinda for taking candid photos of people and tells her that she is a creep. She grabs the phone and discovers that Melinda has an entire album of his photos. She goes out for a cigarette. When she walks back and she finds herself on the other end of Billy's revolver. He orders her to stand next to Sheila and states that he is not there to hurt anybody. He starts to explain why he needs the money. Their people are after him and want to kill him. Sheila is tired of him talking and asks him to hurry up with the robbery. He demands all the money from both the register and the safe room. Sheila tells him that they don't have access to the safe room, only the managers do. In the cash register there is less than $100 because people don't pay with cash anymore. She asked if that's even a real gun. This annoys Billy to the point where he fires his gun. Melinda asks if the money is going to be enough for Billy to pay off his debt to the bikers. She decides to help him out to get all the money from the safe. She is packing the money when 2 customers walk in. He asks Sheila to remain calm and don't make a scene. Melinda looks in the mirror and unbuttons her shirt to appeal to Billy. The tension gets higher as she cannot give change to the customer. Bill is anxiously watching the situation behind the shelves. The guy asks for directions and Sheila writes him a paper. She also writes down to call cops for help. As she tries to hand the note to the guy, Melinda appears out of nowhere and creases the paper. Once they finally left, Billy walks to the counter asking for the bag. Melinda is hesitant to give him the money and ask him where he is heading. She says she wants to go with him too. Billy's freaked out and can't believe his ears. He doesn't really want to take her and they start to argue over the money. Melinda refuses to hand over the bag, not understanding why he doesn't want to take her with him. Physical with Melinda ultimately taking the backpack. Sheila calls him out for being a coward and bullying 2 women with a gun. Billy loses his temper and drags Sheila out from behind the counter. He orders Melinda to lock the door and give him her phone. They go to one of the back rooms while Melinda walks to the front disappointedly. She buttons her shirt back and grabs the hot coffee and pours it on her hand without a blink of an eye. She walks to the back room and pours it all over Billy's face and then knocks him out with a fire extinguisher. While falling, Billy pulled the trigger, accidentally killing Sheila. When Billy wakes up, he notices that Melinda cleaned up and rubbed the body of Sheila in a tarp. He states that he had no intentions to kill anybody, but when he tries to stand up, he notices there is tied to a chair. She sits in front of him without saying a word. She questions why he didn't take her. Billy explains that the whole situation just crazy. She resents him for choosing to have sex with Sheila when Melinda helped him to get the money from safe. Melinda hasn't called the cops as she is unsure of her plans. He explains that they are accomplices and tried to convince her to untie him. Billy tries to convince her that he didn't believe her at the first time. He says that he understands how tired she is of working at the gas station and agrees to take her with him. Melinda doesn't understand what he found wrong in working at a gas station. She compares a gas station to a museum where many interesting people often come when she likes to communicate with them. Billy says that his face really hurts and asks for painkillers. Melinda goes to the store, grabs some painkillers from the front, while in the background we hear an angry customer is trying to get in frustration. Melinda goes to the cash register and grabs sex-enhancing tablet and condoms. She feeds Billy sex tablets instead of painkillers and then zips his pants. Then Melinda explains that she knows he is lying to her and he wouldn't live with her. She blindfolds him and tries to rape him. Somehow he breaks free and knocks himself out, running into the shelf. Melinda walks out with the money. She seems disorientated and she finally opens the door. When the customer complains about the lack of coffee, she aims the gun at her head without the guy noticing it, but quickly changing her mind. She puts the gun down, she bursts into tears and tells the guy to leave her alone. He calls 911, but Perry, Sheila's boyfriend, walks in asking for Sheila, but Melinda says that she has already left. He tries to call her phone and he can hear it buzzing on the ground. He becomes suspicious of the whole situation because his girlfriend cannot go 2 minutes without her phone. Melinda tells him that Sheila left with a guy to a motel and he somehow believes her. Trying to hide the clues, she runs outside and grabs a shovel, but the bike gang pulls up to the gas station. They ask questions if anything happened that night. They describe Billy and ask whether he was around or not. Melinda asks if they do illegal things such as getting rid of dead bodies. They are really persistent about going in. She pulls a gun at them and they also pull guns on her. Their boss orders them to put the guns down as there are cameras everywhere. Melinda realizes her reactions were caught on camera. The literal says that they're going to take a look around for their so-called friend, and if they don't find him, they will surely come back. Once they left, she walks back and trying to break the lock to erase the camera footage. Being unsuccessful with their efforts, she goes out for a cigarette. This gives her the brilliant idea to burn the whole place down. She fills up 2 canisters and brings it back to the counter. As she is getting ready to pour the gasoline all over the place, Officer Lou walks in with his gun pointing at her. He explains that Billy's car is a stolen one, which is the one that he's been looking for. The keys are still in the ignition, so the driver must be nearby. He wants to check the tapes. Melinda tells him that only Diana has the keys to the tape, so he decides to call her. While he's on the phone, she slips the revolver into her pocket. Melinda then explains that she in fact saw a suspicious man. She tells him that the man she saw left through the model in the green Jeep. Before leaving, Officer Lou wants to do a quick sweep of the store. Melinda becomes really frustrated, almost crying. He checks every room in the back and Melinda points the gun at him and is ready to kill him. But the officer finds everything in order and Melinda, being very surprised by this, quickly hides the gun. He gives her his phone number and leaves to check out the motel. Melinda checks the back room as well. She finds the room empty and the cable ties which she used to tie Billy up on the floor. She then proceeds with her plan of burning down the gas station. She hears some strange title from the back. Then the lights go out and she can't go out in the front because the photocell door isn't working. Bill is back in the store yelling at Melinda. She warns him about the gasoline on the floor, threatening to burn the whole place down. Perry pulls up, banging on the front door to let him in. She tries to escape in the back, but Billy already left there and blocked the exit with the dumpster. Billy goes to the front telling Perry that Melinda went crazy, she killed Sheila and tried to rape him. While Perry questioning Melinda, asking if it's true, Billy tackles him from behind and kills him. He then takes Barry's green Jeep. She calls Officer Lou, but Billy breaks the front entrance with a van. She tries to apologize to Billy, but he seeks revenge and pulls the trigger. The gun was previously dropped in gasoline, so it lights on fire. He drops the gun, which ignites the gasoline on the floor as well. Melinda grabs a fire extinguisher and puts out her burning pants, and with leg burns she runs outside. Officer Lou arrives. He gets her into the car to take her to the hospital, and now she will ride in his car as she wanted at the beginning of the movie.